we can leave that can of worms for another night.
Yeah,
still.
that's kind of.
What are you reading? Just favorite comic.
Favorite comic
right
is
now.
anything with Spider-Man in it because I have such a limited budget. There's a lot of comics I do want to read.
Yeah.
Is Spider-Man still a Mets fan after Brand New Day?
Just gonna
I think so.
Yes.
He's not as open
You
about
answered
it.
that last week, didn't you?
Yes, he is.
Okay, but right now I'm just trying to catch up.
You're just catching up?
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up, but I have such a limited budget. I don't want to be done by next week.
That's what I should be doing.
Yeah.
Too bad DC isn't drawing a line at $2.99 anymore.
What line?
Yeah,
that line kind of got distilled.
I noticed that.
Yeah, they'll find any excuse. But no, in terms, like, I have like usually like two from each of the different types of, like, from each of the brands that I'm reading. Like, my two favorites from DC right now are Batman and Animal Man. I guess if I had to put it, like, in terms of best, I mean, I have like ones that I like that are just kind of fun kind of comics. I mean, I love Suicide Squad and Red Hood because they're not the deep kind of books. But like in terms of like best, I would put like Batman, Aquaman, and Animal Man, Swamp Thing. Those kind of comics would be kind of out of DC stuff. But Marvel, I mean, I've been reading it for a while now, but I still like Spider-Man, and I still like the direction Spider-Man's going.
Spider-Man's hilarious right now.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah. I think their slot's doing a really good job with kind of invigorating the Spider-Man character and kind of bringing a more what Mark Waid's doing with Daredevil, kind of the little bit of the lightheartedness and that kind of old school feeling.
Well, he feels like Peter Parker again.
Yeah.
Because Peter Parker's not serious about stuff.
Yeah. I mean, he can be serious when he wants to be, but
when he needs to be.
Yeah. I mean, if he needs to be, he will, but for the most part, he tries to find the lightheartedness in it because he has to. I mean, he could go straight up Brand New Day on everybody, but he won't because no one liked that. So, yeah, it's that, that's how. I like the direction he is now, and I like that he's in Horizon Labs too, and kind of his interaction between his coworkers too, and it's nice to see that.
I laugh out loud at least once an issue with Spider-Man, though. I do.
Okay.
No, Brand New Day was because he had a problem where his
His aunt was shot.
Yeah, his aunt was shot, but the reason why they did that was they needed to bring him back to Richmond because everybody knew his identity because he revealed it during Civil War. Not only did Brand New Day take away the pivotal, what do you call it in the story when, like, that's the point, like, that's the Luke, I'm your father moment of the story.
The big turning point.
Yeah, that was like when he revealed his identity, and so then they take it away from everybody. But before that, he had a problem where everybody knew his basic his secret identity. Now, as soon as Brand New Day was over, within 3 years, he's revealed his identity back again to everybody. I mean,
not to the general public.
Not to everybody. Although, if he needs to, he could just take the Daredevil approach and go, "Are you Daredevil?" No, just what do you mean? I'm not. I swear to God, I'm not Daredevil.
No, I'm some other guy.
I'm just wearing red boots because I feel like wearing red boots. Although part of that probably could be because he's blind too, but still, it can't.
Well, it's a recurring joke in Daredevil that he forgets that he's in costume.
Yeah, exactly, and that's part of what makes it fun.
So what in Marvel, I haven't seen them go back to him revealing his identity to the public. Civil War still happened, and he still revealed his identity, but what happened to that?
Mephisto brainwiped the world in one of the lamest retcons ever.
He made a deal with the devil, and the comic world just shat themselves. Like, what just happened? Burn this!
So what? They were just like, we don't want to think about this. Let's just have Mephisto.
So I'm in the Marvel universe, and I go to Marvel YouTube, and I click on Spider-Man reveals his identity. What do I see?
These are not the stories you're looking for.
What?
Did you ever read One Moment in Time?
No, I'm afraid not.
Oh.
That's
why I'm asking for your help here, Don.
I'm actually reading that right now, trying to catch up. And it actually tells what happened after Mephisto brainwiped everybody. It's like the same thing happened. He still revealed his identity, but he went to Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange went to Tony Stark and Reed Richards, and they came up with some sort of way to mind wipe everybody again, to take away his identity, because Mary Jane was now being targeted.
I'm just worried.
Cool. That makes everything make sense.
I'm just worried eventually they're gonna have a moment where Spider-Man just has a mind wipe button somewhere. Like it's just like it's Thursday, mind wipe.
It just becomes Men in Black.
Mind wipe.
That does actually, happens a lot of Marvel comics. They had Tony Stark became a kid and revealed his identity, and then everybody forgot, then everybody remembered, and then everybody forgot.
It's through plot magic, and it's at a certain point when these characters have existed for 40 plus years, you need to accept, okay, plot magic happens, and we don't have to worry about these complicated head scratching issues.
Wasn't that the entire point of Sentry? Was people knew his identity, then they didn't, then
yeah, but you see, it's all right because plot magic.
It somehow erased everybody's mind.
It's like the shut door thing. If it's behind a door, he didn't die. Or, it's like if you don't see it happen, it didn't happen. We can
and even if you did see it happen, you don't know what you really saw.
We can retcon it later, But we're Marvel and we can do it. Or we can just flat out pull a DC and go, and completely new.
Yeah.
We can just wipe out 30 years of history and nothing happens.
Which, in a lot of ways, sometimes makes more sense. Sometimes because they've had to retcon things all the time. Like Flash Thompson served in Vietnam. Then he was like, he's way too young to have been in Vietnam. He was definitely in some unspecified conflict in the Balkans. And now he was definitely in Iraq. He was in Iraq. Flash Thompson was in Iraq. And eventually it'll be like, Flash Thompson was definitely in wherever the hell we had war recently.
Flash Thompson was invading North Korea.
Yeah.
He was invading North Korea. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
They'll take it conveniently from any war that's going on right now. And I think it's just because with comics...
And it was the same thing with Iron Man. Iron Man was shot down over Vietnam and built his little thing in a Viet Cong tunnel.
Yeah, he was an arms merchant.
Yeah, and then later on, it's like that totally happened in Afghanistan, not Vietnam. What are you guys talking about? You see him? He's young.
Well, and in the movie, you saw the Manchurian was supposed to have been a Taliban warlord.
Right.
I thought that was a great plot twist.
Well, no, they changed it. Well, no, they did do it in the comics. They did that again. They're like, yeah. Well, no, because they come to the point where Tony Stark still has black hair and still looks like he's in his 30s. He couldn't have been shot down over Vietnam. The only people that they do that with, or that they still kind of stick with it, is Nick Fury, because Nick Fury's Nick Fury. He gets to have been in World War II and be everywhere because of that de-aging serum or whatever. Well, right, no, and that's how they get away with that. Like, he took the Infinity Formula. So
and then Frank Castle really stuck because it is so central that he was in Vietnam.
You see, and that's one of the things that, now he was in an unspecified terrible conflict.
Now he was in some kind of conflict that involved the jungle somewhere.
Right. Well, no, I mean, they can't, no, it is central, and that is one of those problems where, like, what do we do if we want to keep this modern? Because that is central to the Frank Castle character.
I think they kind of are doing a good job with that, though, in the current Punisher, because I'm liking the current Punisher, and they never really set it up. It's just, Frank Castle exists. Deal with it.
He kills people. He does not like people.
He doesn't like people. He kills people. Deal with it. You want to know more? Fine. His family was killed, and he decided to become a vigilante. That's all you need to know. That's it.
Well, I mean, what's interesting about those, and I actually brought this, Gotham Central.
I love Gotham Central. Oh, I just love Greg Rucka.
Well, no, but Rucka is taking sort of the Gotham Central approach in that, like, who is the Punisher? We don't care. Let's look at what he's doing.
Exactly, and we don't need him having
because it's all about because really it's the comics right now is like, how does having the Punisher run amok all throughout the Eastern Seaboard affect life for people?
Exactly.
Affect life for people in the Marvel universe, and the answer is, wow, this really complicates the shit out of things.
Exactly.
He's thinking.
Yeah, so he doesn't really have anything else to say. So that's what part of what makes him great in this current run is that he doesn't need to say anything. He lets these do the talking. That's all he needs. It's like, please don't kill me.
Well, because in a way, we've really said. Frank Castle said everything that needs to be said at this point.
I mean, we're going to be having Frank Castle in space sooner rather than later. So.
Well, he's already been an angel.
And
which we try to forget. Yeah. Though they retconned that in the best way possible. He's like, I tried being an angel, and they just cut to him throwing a guy off a cliff. I didn't like it. And that was the end of that. Huh?
Garth Ennis was right.
Yeah. He was just like, yeah. I decided they asked me to be an angel for a while. I did it. I didn't like it. Yeah.
Garth Ennis.
He pulled a Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Throw drugs off the world.
That scene where Spider-Man shows up and he uses him as a hitting mat against the villain.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man wakes up and says, "What happened? We had to team up. You were great."
I don't know. I think that's why I've always loved the Frank Castle character, though. Is he doesn't really give a damn.
No, he's not a nice guy. He's not.
He's never tried to be a nice guy either, which I appreciate.
He's not an especially likable character.
Yeah,
but that's why he's likable.
I mean, the nicest thing he said is just.
I don't feel like killing you right now.
Yeah, either that or with that Rachel Alves person he's kind of brought in as his kind of partner. It's just like, you were a Marine, right? Yeah, okay, you're with me. Okay, come on. Let's just go, all right. Report, and it's like, for her, that might as well be I love you at this point. I mean, that's the closest you're ever going to get to.